Okay, it's your turn now, okay? So try to use 4 synonyms. The original. Urban dwellers are often stressed due to long commutes to work. Okay, your paraphrase. Go ahead and pause the slideshow and write a paraphrase. Okay, check yours to the example. Again, here's the original for your reference. Okay, so here's how I did it, but there were many ways to do it. So I changed urban dwellers to city residents. Often, frequently, stressed, frustrated, due to, because, long commutes. Do you notice your reading words? Long travel times, work, jobs. Okay, that's an example of changing, using so many synonyms that we have used different language from the original. Okay, next strategy, change word forms. Here's the original. Dr. Reams said that there are 50 patients who have been treated effectively by this procedure. Okay, so we've got to change the word forms. So here, Dr. Reams said we have a verb. We changed it to a reporting phrase. It's also called an attribution signal, but for now a recording phrase is okay. According to Dr. Ream, 50 patients have been given effective treatment. What word form is that? Yeah, you're right, it's a noun. Okay, what was the original? It was a verb. Sorry, well here was a verb and here's an adverb. Okay, and what do we have here? We have an adjective here, and then we have plus a noun. Okay, there's our noun. Okay, adjective plus noun. So we changed the word form. Okay, your turn. Okay, change word forms. The original, strict. Okay, if you want a synonym here, feel free. Okay, strict means careful or diligent. Strict diets are an important cause of weight loss for obese patients. Okay, so we have a noun. Strict diets are an important adjective plus a noun. We have to try to change that somehow. Whoops. Okay, so your paraphrase, again, pause the slideshow. Okay, let's check. Let's compare your paraphrase to the example. So again, here's the original and the example. So we had a noun. We changed it to a gerund. I know that's a noun, but you can still see that we changed the word form, right? The activity noun. So we have a gerund here. And again, our purpose is so that the filtering system doesn't pick up exactly the same words. So the gerund is different. Okay, we had an adjective noun, didn't we? We had an adjective noun combination. So dieting, strictly, Our adverb is modifying our verb. Dieting strictly. Now we had a noun here, didn't we? We had a noun phrase. So N for noun phrase. And what did we use instead? A verb. Okay, I changed one more too. Okay, weight loss. What's our word form? It's a noun. Okay, it's a chunk of language. All of that is a noun. Weight lost. What did we change it to? Lose, verb. Okay, a transitive verb with our object, to lose weight, lose weight. So again, you can see examples of how we can change our word form. Good job. Do you notice any other strategies that I used here? I actually used one that we just did. Okay, obese, patience. Instead, I used overweight. Which strategy was that? You got it. It's a synonym. Okay, can you find another synonym? A change from the original? Important. I changed it to significant. Okay. So you can at least see two strategies here. I think if you look carefully, you can see some phrasing differences too. But again, these are the two that we've covered so far. Okay, the next strategy, change the phrasing. So again, what does phrasing mean? It means change some chunks of language. So you'll see the example here. Original. When I lived as a child in Norway, okay, so we had a subordinator, a time clause. Okay, there's our comma. Just to remind you, remember this is a complex sentence. Here's our dependent clause. Here's our main clause. Okay, when I lived as a child in Norway, I never felt different from other people. Okay, paraphrase. So, again, changing chunks of language. So, when I lived as a child, okay, so instead I started with a gerund. And I changed the wording, okay? Growing up instead of when I lived. So growing up as a child in Norway, never felt, okay? You could call this a verb tense change if you want, but I did not feel different from, okay, here our chunk of language was other people, and I changed it to the rest of my community. Okay, so again, you can see that we're changing some chunks of language there. Okay, your turn. Change the phrasing. So, original. When university students wear a uniform, the students will appear to be equal, regardless of their social and economic background. Again, you can see that I've combined the reading topic in the reading book and also the writing topics that you've already had. So you should be familiar now enough to change some of these chunks of language, okay? Give it a try. Okay, your paraphrase, pause the slideshow and write a paraphrase. Okay, let's compare your paraphrase to the example. Here's the original, and here's an example of a paraphrase. Okay, so when students wear a uniform was changed to wearing a uniform, and now I mentioned university, so in university. That's how I keep the meaning the same. Okay, otherwise we don't mean middle school or high school. Okay, the students will appear to be equal regardless of their background. All right, so changing the phrasing, increases social equality. Okay, that's a new phrase. Social equality. Because, so instead of using when, I've used because. The uniform is the same. I even made a new sentence. Remember where I said that one of the strategies was to combine sentences or break them up? So again, we can see I've done more than one strategy, but here we are. Therefore, everybody will look the same. Or you could say, therefore, the students will look the same, or the students will look more the same, okay? Or similar, up to you. I think you get the idea though for paraphrasing by changing some phrasing. Okay, so you've challenge time, okay, writers? So right now we've talked about the first 3 strategies. Let's review them. You can use synonyms. You can change the word forms. And you can change the phrasing. Here's the original. Okay. These facts, which were reported lately, suggest that banks and other major financial institutions should consider micro-lending programs to help the poor. Again, remember what you learned in your reading book about banking on poor women? Okay, so you've got some experience with this topic already. What's your job now? Okay, try to paraphrase it. Pause the video.